Okay. Okay. I was talking and it wasn't even recording. Um, okay, so this next list is talking about more things that you're going to need to have on hand in case of emergency, in case of you being shut in case of you being shut in for long periods of time where if there's chaos on the street, even if there is an emergency where you may be snowed in and can't get out, things like that is also reasons to have these things on hand. And in the first video, I'm not sure, I think I said toothpaste. Make sure you have toothbrushes. You can go to the dollar store and then get, I think, at least a pack of between 5 and 10 toothbrushes. So make sure you have those on hand too. Now the rest of this video, like I said, is for times where you may be shut in for long periods of time, can't get out or whatever. But the next is games, board games, things like that. You could go to some of the thrift stores. You can find old games. You can find old family board games, puzzles, things like that. This is for times when you have no internet and you have no TV. I know we are so far removed from that nowadays that we really don't probably sit around and play many games and things like that, because everyone is probably on their own individual handheld electronic. But if you're ever shut in, if you're ever in a situation where you can't get out, it's dangerous to get out or whatever, sit around, play some games, play some puzzles, or make some puzzles. Also an MP3 player, if you can find one of those, go and load you up a bunch of music on there. You can have your music. Batteries, you're going to need lots and lots of batteries. A, B's, C's, D's, you're going to need lots and lots of batteries. So triple A's, make sure you go and get yourself, even from the dollar store, lots and lots of batteries. Sometimes if you have the money to invest it, I'm going to say you may want to go ahead and kind of spend a little bit more money to get you some good batteries like the Energizers and the Duracells, because sometimes those dollar store batteries really don't last too long. Sometimes as far as like with the batteries, you might be getting what you pay for. So if you want a little bit better, you want things to last a little bit longer, you may have to go ahead and spend a little bit more money to get those Duracells and Energizers to really keep your things running a little bit longer, because it's going to be vital, especially like for flashlights and things like that you're really going to need. You don't want your batteries conking out on you in the dark or in a time when you need to have light or things like that. Okay, gasoline on hand. You need to have gasoline, a can of gasoline for an emergency. At least 2 months supply of necessary medications. There's so many people here in America that are sick, that's on medications. You need to, if at all possible, make sure that you have at least a 2-month stash of extra medication on hand, especially your daily medications, inhalers, oxygen supplies, things like that. If you get any kind of supplies, incontinence supplies, any kind of supplies that you would need to have on a daily basis, try your best, do your best to make sure that you have an extra supply on hand. Playing cards, coloring books, crayons, markers, flashlights, as I said. Even those, this is not on my list, but even those things, you can find those little light things that you can like stick on the wall and just push it and the light comes on. I'm not sure if you need batteries for those, but go to the dollar store. I believe that they're there. They will be very, very useful in time of need. Also tents, just in case you need it. Big enough for everyone in your household. You may have to invest in it, may have to spend a little bit of money, but you just never know what may happen. You might need to have a tent. Sleeping bags, one per family member. Extra clothes, extra underwear, road maps, the city and your area that you're in, and surrounding cities, maybe even a map of the United States you may need to have. Okay, looks like that's it. I went through the medical, I went through the food. Your important papers, please make sure all your important papers that you put them somewhere. Get a binder, get a folder, get a safe, get something portable that you can use to carry them back and forth if you need it. A folder, something that you can lock, something that you can use to close them in. Your birth certificates, your ID cards. Also, as far as phone numbers, so many of us in this age of electronics, we have all of our information on our phones. I would suggest you go to the dollar store again, or some business office place, Walmart, wherever. Get yourself a address book or a notepad, and put every important phone number that you're going to need in there. Write them down. Home numbers, grandma's numbers, aunt's numbers, doctor's numbers, close family numbers, your job number, your office number, your close friends, everybody really that you probably have in your cell phone, you're going to need to have on hand with you in case you lose your phone. Because I know with me, if I lose my phone, I'm done. I don't know any numbers. I'm not good with numbers. I can't remember them. Like I said, your birth certificates, your phone numbers, your ID cards, even if you need to get some copies of these, but have your originals. Addresses also. Make sure you have people's addresses, name, address, house number, city, state, and zip code. Make sure you have that. Just never know what might happen. Also, get you some stamps, get you some envelopes, and have these on hand. So, that's pretty much it as far as the list. If there's anything else that you want to put on your list, anything that you may want to add, by all means add it. You know your family, you know what you like. This was just a basic list of things that people just need to have. As far as your favorite things, candy, cookies, chips, things like that, that's at your discretion. You do that if you want to. But the main thing is not to go to the store, and if you're trying to get a whole bunch of stuff in bulk to have to put away, to put on the side, you don't want to just sit around with a bunch of candy, cookies, and chips and snacks. You want to have some canned meats. You want to have some canned soups, some chilies, and things like that I had spoken of before. Things like bread and things like that. You can use that. You can freeze it. You could have that on hand if you need lunch meat, things like that. But you want to have things that are non-perishable, so that if anything happens to your electricity, and this, you can't eat what's in the freezer, you can't eat what's in the refrigerator, you can go open up a can. Make sure you get a can opener too, one of those portable can openers, so just in case you can't use an electric one, make sure you have these things. Get yourself some knives as well, to have some knives on hand. As I said, this video is so that you could be ready, you could be prepared, because those who are in charge and those who keep up with these type things, because we know most of us black people, we really don't. We're doing something way totally different. But now it is a very, very important time for you to make sure you have things for your family. Also, very, very important, make sure your household has some form of household protection. If you know what that means, I'm not going to tell you how, I'm not going to tell you what. Whatever kind of household protection it's going to take for you and your family to protect your family, protect your belongings, protect those in your, even in your area, like I said, because this is the time, and there is more than likely going to be a time coming where you people may need to get together in the community watch and protect. I would put this mostly on the men, but anyway, every household needs to do it. You may have a sick, elderly person in your neighborhood who they don't have any family, they have no transportation, they have no protection. It's pretty much them. And so they're going to need help. They're going to need protection. Go to them, check on them. Even now, make sure that they have things in their house to survive, to eat, to continue on. Make sure they have enough medication. Make sure they have phone numbers. Make sure they can get in touch with someone who they may need. I mean, it's just, I'm always talking about Black liberation, and this is a part of Black liberation for us to begin to come back again as communities like we used to. Everybody watch, everybody take care of each other. Everybody's children is everybody's children. The sick, elderly, and people in the community, widows, all, we have to do a community effort and take care of them. Make sure they all have what they need. We see so many times in times of disaster where some elderly person was there by themselves and drowned or got killed in a fire or something like that because no one was there to help them, to protect them. Get some whistles. If you hear a whistle blowing, try to go somewhere where you can find it. I mean, give the elderly person who may not be able to fend for themselves some kind of a whistle or something like that, so that you'll know if you hear that, to go over there to them. They need something. I mean, if no one can be there with them, that's something as well. But it's just really a time for us to all come together and join together, because the government's not going to tell us. The ruling class is not going to tell us. They're going to let us fend for ourselves. They're going to let us go down with a sinking ship, which is another last thing before I close out this video. So many times we think here in America, because we have been told so long and for so often, this is the great America. Nothing's going to happen. It's not going to sink. It's just like the Titanic. It's like we all have Titanic syndrome when it comes to America. It can, and it will, and it's probably getting ready to. And so you have to be ready and prepared. Share, come together, teamwork. Because like I said, the government's not going to tell you. You're not going to be able to call the police. You're not going to be able to call ambulances. We saw what happened in Katrina. No one was able to get to those people. I mean, that was a really, really bad tragedy, but what may be coming to the streets of America after financial and economic collapse, we don't know what that is like. We don't know how bad that may be. So that's why I say, get yourself prepared, get the things you need, come together as a community, and talk to people. Look up the news sources. Like I say, you don't have to take my word, you don't have to believe me. Go to RT, go to these other news sources, look up the financial business reports, find out for yourself. Take care of yourself, love your neighbor, and thanks for watching this video. Comment, subscribe, and share it. So until the next video.